The Emfuleni local municipality is set to receive a boost to its roads. The Gauteng Transport Department is planning to rehabilitate over 40 roads over 2 phases. Provincial Department Head Dr Thulani Mdadane joins us for more. Good evening, Dr. Mdadane. Thanks very much for your time.
Good evening, viewing all your viewers.
Now, a resolution was taken by Council back in 2022, and you're only actioning this now.
Yes, remember is that after that resolution, there was a lot of consultation. There are 3 spheres of government, and municipalities by its nature, they are not directly responsible to the provincial government. And when the new Premier then arrived in 2022, then he directed the Department of Roads and Transport in the province to give support to Emfuleni municipality. That was last year in his State of the Province address. And then he was very specific that part of that support must be identification of 40 roads in total. Those roads, we then went to the municipality as part of our 139 intervention by the intervention by COGTA, and then we engaged and we did assessment and scoping. And we are happy that the 40 roads that Premier pronounced last year, we've completed them. We are now on a new road map to complete further 40 roads, sorry. And what Premier has now pronounced is that he is not only looking at Emfuleni, but looking at other struggling municipalities, particularly in West Rand and Citybang and also in Kuruleni, as part of supporting our municipalities. So we have completed those roads, and we completed within time. The only snag that happened before was consultation between municipalities.
Were the consultations between municipalities, or were the consultation between the department and the municipalities?
Yes,
or were
coordinated.
They between the department, municipalities, and the public?
Everybody. We had to ensure, remember, when we are doing our roads infrastructure, the municipality must be, as a beneficiary of the program, must be part of that engagement, but as well the communities, the SMMEs that we're participating through subcontracting model. So to ensure that the councillors that are involved in different wards, remember these roads are in the entire Emfuleni municipalities, and therefore that consultation had to be done, as well as agreeing on the scope. Because as we know, Emfuleni has got a lot of sewage spillage that is affecting that municipality. So all of that has to be taken care as part of our plan to rehabilitate the roads infrastructure. Now,
with regard to those, I mean, you say have already been completed, apparently, well, certainly from what the mayor, I mean, has said, people are complaining about road markings, which suggest shoddy work, and of course, the time it has taken for these roads to be completed.
I don't think it's correct. Let me say that from the time we received the budget, the budget, the Premier after his pronouncement, we can only proceed after we got confirmation. And we got a budget from the budget adjustment in November 2023. And working from there, we had to then do the planning. After that planning, between January and February, to do construction. So I'm happy that the contractors worked with the department, and we completed this work within 2 months to for the light rehabilitation that we did in that municipality. Of course, there were snags in terms of other things, like other departments and all of that. Also, there are a number of roads that still need intervention. Hence, I'm saying to you, we've started with this 40 as part of our support to municipality, and Premier has directed that we need to do further 40 to support. And we are busy now working with that municipality to identify further 40 to ensure that we do the scoping and the costing and agree. Then we put our proposal back to Treasury for consideration.
Of course, I mean, there has been a degree of political instability because the previous mayor was the one who came here and actually boldly said or stated that these things were going to happen. He never lived to see that day. And one wonders to what extent these delays are, or because of the political instability?
Probably the ex-mayor or the former mayor is correct in his context as talking politics. But as from the government side of things, as a department, as an accounting officer, all the processes were duly done and done on time. And as I'm saying, that from the time we received the budget in November, we spent exactly 2 months to do construction of those 40 roads, which was quite short in a way, because those contractors had to work on weekends, some during Christmas time, some had to work at night to ensure that we provide light and so forth. So it was beyond expectation that we were going to finish on time. And before end of March, which is our financial end, we completed the project. But other things, as an administrator, I would not be in a position to respond to.
But you do understand people when they say that it has taken you 2 years to get to this point, and it has taken 2 months to actually deliver on them, then people are saying politics has everything to do with it, because ahead of an election, you're seeing things moving with speed.
That 2 years is not from the 2 years I'm talking about. I'm talking about the 2 years from the Premier's pronounce. The 2 years from the period that we received budget as Department of Roads. And I'm saying the budget was only pronounced by MEC of Finance in the province only last year, November, during budget adjustment. And from that point, we had to then remember that we can't action anything, that it becomes an unfunded mandate. Of course, we know the struggles of different municipalities and other issues around IGR processes within municipalities. I think it's issues that the country and COGTA must deal with.
You know, earlier, I mean, we're talking here about taxpayers going to fork over 45 billion rands to, I think the amount stands at 47 now, to pay about close to 40,000 public servants who earn over a million rand. Now, the leader of one of the biggest opposition, the official opposition in Parliament, was suggesting that these top public servants who earn, you know, this money, some of them get there because they are deployees and aren't necessarily deserving or don't do their work as efficiently as they ought to do. You as an accounting officer, you know, what are some of the challenges you face in the execution of your work?
I think let's get the parameters right. As an accounting officer, at least there are 3 frameworks that I use. First is the Constitution. Secondly is the Public Finance Management Act. Thirdly is the Public Service Regulations. Those 3 guiding documents provides a framework to any accounting office. Of course, there are many others, but at least those becomes the center and element of where you start as an accounting office. And I think the challenge in general is that the accounting officers have got a responsibility to ensure that we comply with the public service regulations. And they define what requirements for which occupational dispensation you must have in terms of qualification, what NQF level you must have. Those things are prescribed. Any other deviation becomes then a deviation, and then it's an issues of non-compliance. From my point of view, in my department, I can confirm to you that we do comply with the public service regulations, and anybody that does not meet the minimum requirement does not get to a department unless they're talking about government in general, which is a very difficult issue when we are generalizing, because then it's an accusation that is brought. But in my department, remember, we've got 3 mandates. We are roads, we are transport, we are logistics. So those 3 mandates have got its own unique dispensation, and we follow what DPSA guide us to do as an accounting officer.
Have you ever found yourself in a situation where, under pressure from political principles, you've had to do things you ordinarily don't do?
This is my 3rd life as an accounting officer. I haven't, I think it's more about interfacing between a political office and administration office. In my experience this far, as an accounting officer, we've got a responsibility. It's a personal advice to harness the relationships, to harness the mechanism that must be conducive between you and the political office. If you work from that point, you should be comfortable with an accounting office. But I haven't experienced any challenge.
Dr. Mdadane, thanks very much for your time.
Thank you very much.
Really appreciate it. That was Gauteng Transport Department Provincial Head, Dr. Thulani Mdadane.